What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking about the recent news we got in the welterweight division, where the WBA has announced that they will be doing a small welterweight tournament consisting of their Super World Welterweight Champion, Yordenis Ugas, and their regular welterweight world champion, Jamal James. And both of them will be defending their titles against highly ranked WBA contenders. First of all, the WBA Super welterweight world champion Denis Ugas has been ordered to face number one ranked welterweight contender in the WBA, Eimantas Stanionis, whilst their regular WBA champion Jamal James has been ordered to face number 5 ranked welterweight Radzhab Butaev in the WBA. And I think these are great fights, and I hope that they could be made. I believe the deadline for the Ugas Stanionis fight is January 13th, 2022. And for the James versus Butaev fight, it is before November of 2021. So with that being said, I mean, we could see Jamal James versus Radzhab Butaev in mid-October in the next month, and I think that's a great fight. Butaev, he's coming off I believe, a third-round knockout victory over Terry Chatwood, who is an unbeaten fighter. And as for Jamal James, although he's not been that active, he's still a great fighter, ranked in the top 15 by BoxRec, I believe 12 to be specific. He won the interim WBA title against Thomas Delorme by unanimous decision, which was his last fight, and he was upgraded to WBA regular champion. But now the interim titles are gone. WBA did take them out after the whole Michael Fox and Gabriel Maestre controversy for that interim title and all that. But the WBA has been making moves recently ever since that. As I mentioned before, removing the titles now, announcing this. And I think these are some great fights. Yordenis Ugas coming off that great victory over Manny Pacquiao, defending that WBA title after seemingly being awarded it via email because he was upgraded to that status after Pacquiao was stripped. But Stanionis, he's ranked number 1. His last major victory was against Thomas Delorme for a WBA eliminator. Won that fight, as I mentioned before. And that got him ranked number 1 by the WBA. And in his last fight, it was sort of sad, the ending. It was a no contest as opposed to what looked like it could have been a victory if it obviously didn't end for Stanionis when he fought Collazo. But I think Stanionis will be ready if this fight does happen. And I hope that Ugas will be ready 100% too. I mean, I think this could be a great fight. Although Stanionis has not faced anyone at the level of like an Ugas, someone in the top 3 or top 5, because Ugas is widely recognized as someone in the top 3, top 5, as I mentioned before. And Stanionis, I mean, his best victory is against a guy who's in like the top 15/top 20. So, I wonder how his style would adapt to that sort of mid-range counter-punching style. Fights someone on the outside of like Yordenis Ugas, someone like that with very, very skillful counter-punching and boxing as well. I know Ugas isn't really someone that uses his footwork too much, but he could really counter you. He could make you look silly. I mean, Ugas is a very, very well-skilled fighter, and I mean, we saw that against Manny Pacquiao. But Stanionis is a fighter that loves to come forward. And as for the Jamal James fight, I mean, Jamal James will have the height and reach advantage. I could definitely see him using his jab in that one. I'm not going to reveal who I think will win either fight because hopefully they could be made and I could produce a prediction video. But Jamal James, as I mentioned before, got the height and reach advantage. I expect him to box off the outside. With Radzhab Butaev, he's a very, very powerful come-forward fighter from Russia. And he did have a loss previously against Alexander Besputin, but that was obviously overturned to a no contest after Besputin did fail a drug test, tested positive, I believe, for PEDs. And now Butaev is still undefeated. And that fight against Besputin was actually for the WBA regular welterweight world title, so he gets a second crack at that belt if he does happen to face Jamal James and all the negotiations go 100% fine and that fight does happen, and I hope it does. But Butaev is a great challenger, highly rated by the WBA. So is Stanionis, and I expect obviously the winners to face each other in the finale. And the WBA did announce they expect the finale to happen somewhere around like March, probably like just spring 2022. And hopefully, I mean, this could be done. It looks really, really good, and I hope the winner of it all could face another a welterweight champion. And I mean, the good thing about this is that all the fighters in this are from like Premier Boxing champions. Butaev has fought there before. I believe he's got a contract signed with them. Jamal James, Ugas, Stanionis, and I believe these fights could be easily made, as all of them, as I mentioned before, work with Premier Boxing champions. So yeah, overall, I believe that the WBA, I mean, they did a good job on this one. I hope that all these fights could be made, and yeah, it seems like a great tournament. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.